Romel Lopez, a spokesman for the Department of Social Welfare and Development or DSWD, acknowledged the challenges to the relief efforts due to Super Typhoon Karding, but made sure to address all of this, with the equally important ones are shared by other involved agencies. He said the DSWD has been monitoring a total of 122,725 individuals as of Tuesday morning, with the assistance of local government units or LGUs in the affected areas. Commission on Appointments or CA welcomed the newly appointed cabinet officials by President Marcos Jr. Max Legaspi has the full details.
During the Commission on Appointments proceedings, the CA welcomes the newly appointed cabinet officials which were specifically handpicked by President Marcos Jr. The newly appointed cabinet officials includes Tourism Secretary Maria Esperanza Cristina Frasco, Environment Secretary Maria Antonia Yulo Loizaga, and Agrarian Reform Secretary Conrado Estrella III. The duration of the entire proceedings took about approximately 7 hours given the number of the newly appointed cabinet officials. Senator Alan Peter Cayetano expressed his concern on the apparent cramming of the entire session for the newly appointed cabinet officials, which resulted in Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri releasing a statement during the hearing. Zubiri issued a statement which indicated an explanation regarding the apparent cramming of the proceedings and regarding the duration of the entire CA proceedings. He stated that besides the number of newly appointed cabinet officials, the Senate is also preparing for the congressional break that will take place in the next coming week. He also added that if the proceedings for the newly appointed cabinet officials were to be delayed, the officials would be considered as bypassed and President Marcos Jr. would have to reappoint them again on the following month when the Congress resumes its session next month. For Golden Nation Network, this is Max Legaspi.
For Senate updates, the Subscriber Identity Module or SIM Card Registration Act, Senate Bill 1310, was approved during the Senate's 25th regular session. Chair of the Committee on Public Services, Senator Grace Poe, thanked her 19 colleagues for supporting the legislation. Senator Pia Cayetano and Senate Minority Leader Aquilino Pimentel III were also mentioned for their pertinent amendments. Telecommunications companies or telcos will be tasked to protect subscribers' personal information under the regulation of the Department of Information and Communications Technology. Moreover, Senator Risa Hontiveros has flagged Go Scholars under the Commission on Higher Education or CHED Scholarship Program mandated by the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act or Republic Act 10931 after her office received complaints from students. During the Senate budget hearing of CHED, Senator Hontiveros also questioned CHED on its defective Memorandum of Agreement between UNIFAS, CHED, and the Development Bank of the Philippines that led to 1 billion pesos in park funds since 2019 and prevented the implementation of the program. The senator also brought up screenshots emailed to her office of the official UNIFAS, NCR, and Region 10 Facebook pages, whose admin urged students to post hashtag I stand with CHED UNIFAS after the senator called for an investigation of the agency's 7 billion pesos worth of questionable releases. As for the lower house, the House of Representatives has passed a bill easing the payment of taxes on third and final reading. All 250 lawmakers present during the session voted in the favor of the measure. House Bill 4125 seeks to ease the process of paying taxes by setting a medium-sized taxpayer classification and corresponding Bureau of Internal Revenue Special Unit for better service and tax administration. Likewise, the measure removes the restriction of the filing of returns of payment of taxes, among others. Under the Marcos administration, the Department of Budget and Management or DBM seeks to make sure that struggling overseas Filipino workers or OFWs receive enough legal assistance. JC Ogaire has the full story.
The Department of Budget and Management or DBM wants to ensure that distressed overseas Filipino workers or OFWs are given sufficient legal aid under the Marcos administration. Amena Pangandaman, the Secretary of Department of Budget and Management, announced that the government has allocated 1.2 billion pesos for the Action Fund of the DMW, which will be used to assist struggling OFWs in other nations. The 1.2 billion pesos Action Fund is part of the DMW's Overseas Employment and Welfare Program, which has 2.7 billion pesos allocation. Meanwhile, the DBM also earmarked 10.39 billion pesos for the Emergency Repatriation Program of Overseas Workers Welfare Administration or OWA. This amount covers a total of 367,287 OFWs. The DBM has allotted 15.2 billion pesos to the DMW as part of the projected 2023 National Expenditure Program. For Golden Nation Network, this is JC Ogaire.
Moving on, the Philippine National Police or PNP is taking a more holistic approach to its illegal drugs campaign as ordered by President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., Lieutenant General Jose Chiquito Malayo, the PNP's Deputy Head for Administration and Officer in Charge, said the organization is discovering the best way to free the victims from the culture and closely collaborate with other organizations in the rehabilitation of acknowledged drug users in every neighborhood. Up next on News Force, San Miguel, Bulacan placed under state of calamity. Albay 2nd District Representative Joey Salceda advises public on repercussions of banning pogos. Over 9,000 job seekers attend Trabajo, Turismo, Ascenso Job Fair. Stay tuned for more stories and reports when News Force returns.